these were the two 11s chosen for the game. No surprises in that England 11. The injured Robin Smith never considered. De Freitas and Neil Smith, the other two to miss out. Their opponents, New Zealand, looked like this. That was a slight worry for England, as many of their team were unknown quantities. But for Roger Toos, recently of Warwickshire, a great day, playing against the side who overlooked him. In the middle for the toss, and with them was the former New Zealand keeper, Ian Smith.
Michael Atherton, you've won the toss for England. What are you going to do?
We're going to have a bowl this morning.
What do you make of the pitch then?
The pitch looks all right. I think there's a bit of dew around and a bit of damp. Hopefully the ball might do a bit this morning.
Okay, all the best.
Thanks very much.
And Lee, you lost the toss. You're going to have a bit of a bat.
I don't have much luck tossing over here, do I, Smithy? Yeah, we're going to bat on it. I think preferably we would have liked to have bowled, but we have to go at some stage and score runs on it, so we might as well go up front.
And the spinning option, you've chosen Thompson ahead of Patel?
Yeah, we just think Shane at the moment gives us a few options. We didn't need to use defect to open the bowling today, but it was a tough call, so we've gone with Shane.
Okay, all the best. Thanks. I think we're in for a good day.
A bit of a chair here for the New Zealanders. Spearman on the left. These two are very interesting. Probably the most attacking partnership in the World Cup. They really do go for it. Astle on the right, and I believe, Jeff, that the performance of these two could well dictate how well New Zealand do in this competition. If they fire today, England could be in trouble.
Well, England have quite a balanced attack, so I think they can switch very quickly to spinners if they get a liking to the seamers, so I don't think they'll mind about that. I think it's just a question of what the ball does. If it does anything off the seam, it's not so easy to smack it around.
So just a little bit of dampness as that marker's made, but have a look at that surface. Dominic Cork is going to be given first bowl, and that's what he's going to be hitting. It doesn't look to me to be that much grass down this end. There's a little bit more down the other end. That is as flat as it. It's the umpires today, Australia and Sri Lanka, interestingly enough, and that's umpire B.C. Kure from Sri Lanka, and down at the other end, the Australian Stephen Randall. So there it is. He's only played 8 matches, so not much experience, and no huge scores there, just 23 years of age. Very interesting to see how he goes. I'm looking forward to seeing how he plays. Gets them in a hurry, he does. And this is the first ball of the World Cup. Here we go, Dominic Cork. Just a little bit of swing there, and left to go through to the keeper. Well, a little buzz in the ground as that first ball was bowled. This is exciting stuff, Jeffrey.
Yeah, you always get that. I mean, for any opening bowler, opening batsman, it's a bit nerve-wracking to start with, but I don't think there'll be much bounce in the pitch.
Morris and the bowlers. So Peter Martin is the bowler. He's got the new ball from the pavilion end. That's in the air, good shot. It's way over the top, going down to the fence. Quite a hard outfield. Atherton's chasing it. Will they come back for the third? Well, that's what we've come to expect of these two openers. That's the first big hit. New Zealand 6 without loss. Lusty shot down the ground so far. Got him! Oh, he's dropped him. Well, he hit the outside edge, and that's gone in the air. Slightly at the right-hand side of Thorpe. Really should have been taken. That's an unfortunate start for England in terms of catches.
Yeah, good ball this. It just caught the batsman in two minds. He's first of all going to play.
That's well bowled. Beautiful delivery, that one. That actually moved a little bit off the seam.
These two England bowlers.
Spearman on strike. Got him, dropped him again. I can't believe this. What is going on there, Fiery? Another one to slip, another one down. England are making it tough for themselves. They've got to get a wicket here quickly.
Well, that was an absolute cuckoo, wasn't it? It's a little drive. It just lollipopped to first slip. He could have caught it with one hand.
Oh, he's hit that one well through the offside field. That'll go for 4. That's that's well played by Spearman. Smashed that one right off the meat of the bat. Right into the gap as well. Good shot.
Nicely controlled was that. Didn't try to just hit it hard. Just played an orthodox cricket shot. Picked the length properly.
Let's see whether Dominic Cork can do anything.
Well, that's well bowled and very close to the leg stump. Again, just a little bit quicker. That very nearly got through the defences of Spearman.
Yeah, he's trying to play through the line. Look, he's trying to play through it. Instead of just picking the length, you're going to have to play some defensive shots. I don't care all this gung-ho attitude of trying to whack the new ball around when it's swinging. It won't work. There'll be a lot of harem scarums for the New Zealand openers if they keep trying to put bat to ball every other ball. They've got to play sensibly.
Well fielded. That's better. Craig White fielding at cover point, diving away to his left. That'll give him a lift out there. Beautifully fielded. That really was smashed away on the offside. Well, that's his first contribution. And he'd be happy with that. On the other hand, standing at first slip, quite wide, Thorpe won't be too happy with these two drops. Down the leg side. Got to be joking. Pleading for the LBW there. Got him, beautifully taken. Caught and bowled, a magnificent catch. That was very, very well taken. It was hit back to him very firmly, and Dominic Cork has struck for England.
Well, there's the wicket that he's good at. I didn't think it was such a good shot, really. He never went through with it, got caught in two minds. In the end, it finished up a little bit of a firm push. He was going to drive it, then he just pushed it, and he didn't really do anything with it in the end. He didn't go back that quick. It's still a good catch, because when you're following through as a bowler, you catch it one-handed. It's a pretty good performance. So, caught and ball, Cork, Craig Spearman out for 5. New Zealand 12 for 1.
Stephen Fleming, stylish left-hand batsman, is the new batsman. And those are his figures. Hasn't scored 100 yet. Spearman
He did, or just finished up pushing it in the end. Straight balls, he's going to get himself out.
Oh, good shot, straight down the ground for 4. What a great start for Fleming. Simply leaning into that one, playing dead straight as Jeff Boycott has suggested he should do. And what's more, he timed it well.
Now, this is a top shot. Lovely follow-through. Crisply hit, didn't try to hit it too hard. Just played a perfect straight drive. The South Africa was just getting back his little bit of swing.
Down the wicket he goes, that's 6, that's a magnificent shot. All the way into the crowd. Watch that white ball fly. Have a look at the 6s amongst the crowd. That's gone back 20 rows.
Yeah, he caught Peter Martin unprepared for that. It was a surprise. Very nimble and quick on his feet. He was off, almost as if he was a slow bowler. I think it's easier to do that to Peter Martin than it is Dominic Cork. Martin's very military medium. Cork's just that little bit quicker onto you, but it was a lovely shot. Well thought out.
He's hit that one too. That's gone through the offside field. The Indians love it out here in Ahmedabad. Won't quite get to the fence, will it? No, he's dragged it back. White has done well there as well. That's the end of the over, 27 for 1. Right in the slot, wasn't it? Pitched about middle and leg, and that hit the meat of that bat, and it kept going. About 20,000 Indians sitting underneath that one as it came down. And it came down 15 rows back.
England's tour out there in the one-day series. Economy rate there, but always very important in the bowlers. 3.62 for Darren Gough. Anything under 4 is pretty good for seam bowlers. It's a good-looking shot. Chase for Thorpe, that's beaten him. 4 runs.
A high percentage of Nathan Astle's runs are likely to come in boundaries. And we've already seen him dispatch one over the boundary for 6. And that one right there, he just looked to wait on the front foot and just eased back. He really played from the crease there. And he really did time that one nicely. The outfield is going to quicken up as the day goes on. Very slow to start with, but that one raced away.
It's a lovely shot through the offside. Craig White's chasing, but he won't get anywhere near it. That's beaten him to the fence by 20 metres.
If you give Nathan Astle any room, anything that's short or wide or too full, he's going to be a very punishing player and take advantage of that. And Dominic Cork just a little bit short on that occasion, but Nathan Astle does improvise nice in New Zealand.
First boundary off Dominic Cork. That's in the air, but it's found the gap again. Graeme Thorpe in pursuit from mid-off. Astle's back for 2, and the run's coming thick and fast now for New Zealand. This is a good start for New Zealand, named their 14 for this Wills World Cup.
A lot of people back home probably felt that Mark Greatbatch, who was a raging success in the 1992 World Cup, would have been here. He was left out of the original 18 that was selected and told to go back to domestic cricket, get some runs. Well, he did that. He's picked up 300s in a row, including a double century, and has still not found himself here for this World Cup.
It's a lovely shot. Over square leg, 4 runs, 2 short from Goff.
Well, Nathan Astle again has improvised here. Well, the ball just might have been just a little bit short of a length, but not a lot of foot movement by Nathan Astle here. And really, he's just flicked it over backward a square on the leg side. And really, that's a fine shot. For somebody who has really become a makeshift opening batsman, he's really done the job wonderfully well. As I mentioned before, batted round about 7 or 8 for Canterbury.
A very impressive boundary, bringing up the 50 for New Zealand, off just 71 balls.
So the pitch out there looks to be quite a good batting one out there at the moment.
Against bowler in one-day cricket.
So that average there is a little bit on the high side, and the economy rate of over 4 runs and over. Well, I suppose if you bowl 10 overs and pick up 1 for 42 as a spinner, you've done a pretty good. We'll have to put bat to ball instead of using the pace of the pitch. And he does like to strike the ball, and he'll have a go at the spinners too if the ball's in the right place.
That's through the offside for 4. Illingworth can't stop the stream of runs.
So not a great start here for Richard Illingworth, just a little bit short and wide of the off stump. And
Phil Tufnell's gone into decline, and Illingworth has stolen his place in England's side, has made it his own.
I can't have it.
Turn there for Illingworth. It's gone fine, and it'll be 4 runs.
One swept away off the top edge slightly, just wide of the fieldsman down there, and it ran away. Those. Darren Goff again, right arm over the wicket. He's whacked that one, that could be 6, it's over the top again, you beauty, lovely straight hit down the ground. Ian Smith's out of his seat, lovely shot.
Well, it's brilliant stuff, Tony. The New Zealanders have really set this World Cup alight on the very first morning. A little touch of the gloves between the batsmen. Astle, he really does like to use the feet, and he's come down to Goff and said, I'm after you, and he really has got hold of him.
He feels dropped 2 catches. It's well pitched up. You don't pitch him up to him. He smashed that one away. This is a quick outfield. Atherton won't get there. It's 4. New Zealand are playing beautifully. They've settled into this World Cup, and they're on their way.
Well, as he's chasing this Mike Atherton, he's probably thinking, yes, Graeme Thorpe, you let me down with those 2 drop catches. Nathan Astle was one of them. That was his 50, and what a magnificent way to bring it up. The timing is superb. Slowish pitch.
Use the necessary nourishment.
Well, it could be a long drinks break if they're going to empty it.
So, Hick, having bowled 1 ball, now going around the wicket to the left-hander. 79 off just over 17 overs. And that's the bottom edge, and it's going away down to the fence for 4. I think it was off the bottom edge. It's gone all the way to the fence. We'll keep an eye on the umpire here. Yes, it's 4.
Just a little groan from Jack Russell, the wicketkeeper, as this goes past him. I think he thought he was in for a chance there. Well.
Oh, well bowled. So, that's the first indication of quite a lot of turn. This will go to the fence. 4 byes, I reckon. Did it flick the pad? No. All the way through, 4 byes. Now, New Zealand will be interested in this. This ball did turn.
It's a good sign for later in the day. And Jack Russell, he's been caught unaware here as well.
Astle playing it away on the onside. The crowd coming alive here. Every time he gets on strike, they all get out of their seats and start trying to encourage him to smash one into the crowd again. He's already hit 2 beautiful sixes, and that brings up the 100.
The breakthrough, got rid of Spearman. But everyone else, from time to time, has suffered a little bit.
Catch it! In the air. Oh, I don't believe it. This is unbelievable, England. The captain this time has dropped the lollipop.
Well, if there's any finger pointing to be done later in the day, then Michael Atherton's going to have to point one back at himself, and this one should have been taken, Tony. It's an orthodox catch to short mid-wicket. Well, they've all had a life now, the New Zealanders that have had a bat. They've all had a second.
Yes, Atherton really wouldn't enjoy this. Normally very safe.
A little bit. And already I think they think this could be a long day for them.
That's in the air. This could be out. Will he catch it? Won't he catch it? He's got him. Yes, they've caught one. A minor miracle. They've put 3 down, and Thorpe is the man who's scored it. Having dropped 2, Thorpe has caught one at last. So that'll relieve the pressure for England. New Zealand have lost their 2nd wicket.
There'll be no happier man on the ground than Graeme Thorpe to hold on to one finally. Gone very wide again, Graeme Hick. A sweep shot again, but this time he didn't roll a wrist, didn't get over it, lifted it down to Thorpe. Very comfortable catch in the end. I'm sure there was a few butterflies as it came down, but he took it safely. Fleming has gone for 28. New Zealand 108 for 2.
So Roger Toos, the left-hander, is the new batsman. He's got a strike rate of 67.81 runs per 100 balls. He hasn't made a century yet. That's his average. And he's played in 3 matches so far. And he's out there because of this.
And every reason to have some pressure on, and no reason at all to give him that much width. That was very wide and very full. And Roger Toos says, thanks very much. I'll get off the mark with that one.
Astle on 67. Firmly played again. Looking really good he is. It takes the score to 114 for 2.
Spinner, and our first opportunity to have a look at Craig White.
Yes, an Australian Yorkshireman. What a combination.
Nicely played by Astle once again. Oh, he's dived over the top of it, and that'll go out to the fence for 4. Well, he gave it the Harbour Bridge, didn't he? Clean over the top.
Well, this was one of my dives when I used to play this. I used to dive so I didn't get my trousers dirty. He just dived over the top of it. Oh, that was a beauty.
Well, a bonus 3 runs for New Zealand. Graeme Hick to bowl the 30th over of the innings. Oh, Toos off the edge, on its way down to 3rd man. And you'll get a couple. Certainly not control of the shot.
No, he tried to use his feet here, just chassé down the pitch, but he looked a bit stood up to me as he drove.
It's in the air. Thorpe waits, and he gets it. So that's the end of Roger Toos. England have another one.
Well, I think this was a mistake in thinking. He'd made up his mind to sweep wherever the ball was pitched, and he had to fetch it from outside off stump. When you have to fetch your ball on the sweep or the hook, it's much harder to keep the ball down. And in the end, it was a pretty simple catch, made look a bit awkward by Graeme Thorpe. 17 for 2s, New Zealand 141 for 3.
New man in for New Zealand is Chris Cairns. He's gone to the non-striker's end.
Name for us. Well, from a match perspective, this may be the key point. This man here, Chris Cairns, if he gets going and can get in and get started, he's a very strong, powerful hitter of the cricket ball. England will want to see the back of him.
That's a big hit. Straight back over the bowler's head. That's another 6. Magnificent cricket stroke.
Well, it hasn't taken that long for Chris Cairns to get into the action. He's struggling with a calf injury. He didn't show any signs of this. Look at the movement of the feet. We've seen Graeme Hick before. Down the wicket, a little shuffle, and straight down the ground. Magnificent.
He's picked that up over mid-wicket. Chase for Thorpe, he's not going to get there. 164.
Smashing it out into the covers. A lot of work to be done here by the fieldsman. And he loses it. 4 more. Bill de Freitas out there. And Cairns really whacked this.
Usually a very good fielder, Philip de Freitas. Running hard, usually athletic. Gets the hand, but it doesn't get it right in the hand. It goes into his body, and the body bounces it back into...
Correct by Cairns. That'll go all the way. 4 more.
Well, it was a quite simple ball to tuck away. Just angling in. Didn't really do anything in the air, but just angling into the legs. He clipped it away beautifully. Straight in the gap.
Bang. 1 bounce, 4 more.
Super shot was that. He's worked out Darren Goss making the ball, if anything, angling to him, not really do anything, but just angling. And so he's playing everything from outside to on, outside off stump, over mid-on. Sensible striker, a guy who could make himself a very talented batsman. Very orthodox shots he plays, just doesn't slog. They're cricket shots.
And he's got himself out. Cairns goes. Pretty soft dismissal, really. And New Zealand lose their 4th wicket.
Well, it's the first time he's not played a proper orthodox cricket shot. He set off before Richard Illingworth bowled the ball. He'd made up his mind before, and it's always a bad thing to do. Made up his mind to try and get down the pitch, give himself room, and then just slash at it. Top edge, nice easy catch. And that's a wicket given away.
Cairns goes for 36, New Zealand 196 for 4. Chris Harris, the new batsman for New Zealand, with the loss of Chris Cairns, so another Canterbury player coming in. Chris Harris, such a big part of New Zealand's effort at the last World Cup. He's on 99. There it is, the first century of the World Cup for Nathan Astle.
Well, I'm glad he's got his 100 because he thoroughly deserved it. He played sensibly, competently. He played with a mature head on his shoulders. No outrageous shots. He well fought out his innings. Big slice of luck early on to get dropped, but as I say, that happens usually to most batsmen who make 100.
Beautifully played by Harris. Should be cut off. No, it won't, in fact. That's a boundary for Chris Harris. Beautifully timed. And up comes the 200.
Yeah, just short of a length. Nice shot. Just went straight through the line of the ball. Once it beat the fielder, it looked to me as if Graeme Hick was struggling with that little bit of a strain. He's usually very quick in the outfield and got a good arm, but He didn't look...
He looks to be struggling, Graeme Hick. Astle charging, and he's gone. So another New Zealander goes, and Astle's long innings is over. And he's gone for 101. It's now 204 for 5.
Well, you could say that was an easy ball to hit. It tempted Yorker, became a low full toss, and in trying to belt it hard for the boundary, he holed out to Graeme Hick at mid-wicket, right on the edge of the circle. This went straight into his hands, a very easy, simple catch. And they're just not making headway in these last few overs, New Zealand. Splendid 100. 204 for 5.
Shane Thompson, the new batsman for New Zealand, out there with the dismissal of Nathan Astle. And Shane Thompson, an experienced player and a handy man to have coming in at this stage of the innings. He can give it a good hit, and he could be a significant factor in the match later on. He's the New Zealand spinner in this game.
So far, this is the last ball of the over. And nicely placed. Fairbrother after it. Back they come for the second. This will be close. Has he got him? Yes, I think he has. He's having a look at it. This is a replay. The Sri Lankan umpire out there calling for the replay. I think that must have been very close. It was a good throw, right over the bails, dragged down onto the stumps. Was he home or not? Let's have a look.
It was certainly a big dive by Chris Harris to try and make his ground. He just pushed the ball onto the onside there, into mid-wicket. Certainly get an easy single. And as he goes for the second, it's a very good return. Did he make it? Well, I'd say he's home. Well, despairing dive. It's a good one, I think.
Said like a good New Zealander this. I want to see this again. Hang on, let's have a look. I think he might be gone. I think that's out, Richard. Sorry, mate. I think it's gone.
What, by an inch? Well.
It's all over. What a good throw that was. Right over the bails. And he's out by an inch and a half.
Well, he certainly has been given out by the third umpire. Very tight, but there it is. Another New Zealand wicket has now fallen.
212 now for 6.
So I think England will be pleased to restrict them to around 230, and I think they will think they could get that target.
Lee German is the new batsman. He's the Kiwi captain. Will keep wicket later in the game.
Oh, there's a mix-up here, and he's missed the stumps. Well, they needed a run out there. In fact, one got the feeling he could almost have run up and taken the bails off. And there was an opportunity at both ends, what's more. Graeme Hick was the fieldsman.
Really was poor cricket from both sides there. Poor bowling to Jamon there. He was going to go, decided he wouldn't. Had he hit, he was well and truly short. No one really backing up there, and the ball carried on to Peter Martin. And it looks like both batsmen there were going to go for a second. They said no, but then Peter Martin misfielded, and so it allowed the batsman to come back for the second. And at the same time, they've still restricted New Zealand to the score they've got at the moment. Yep.
Off the inside edge and over the top of the outstretched left hand. This England side will not be very proud of their performance in the field. That one's just cut off. It's nicely cut off by the boot of Thorpe down on the boundary, but really they shouldn't have got one.
Just talking about the fielding, yes, it has been a real mixed bag by them today, but the question is whether they've done cutting that off.
Well, he's got that one in the air, but it's going into the gap. Won't reach the fence, bouncing away for 4. That was well placed. Decided to get underneath it, and he had to hit it right in between the two fieldsmen. So that 4 takes the score on to 227. That side off stump, and he's picked him up. I thought he took that on the half volley. Atherton's claiming the catch. Well, interesting one. My immediate reaction there was half volley. Don't believe Atherton would ever throw it up if it didn't hit the ground. The batsman, well, Atherton having a little go at the batsman there and vice versa. He's got every right to ask the umpires what they think. Let's have a look. Now, this will be very interesting. Saying not out. The England players are protesting. Here it goes. In the air. Watch it. Well, it may just have carried. In fact, very often batsmen get given the benefit of the doubt here. I think that was probably out. No doubt as far as Atherton Atherton was concerned. It was very low, though. The umpires really had no option.
Yeah.
That to Atherton. Straight down the ground for one. Will they come back for the second? Yeah, they've got to run for everything. They've hit the stumps, and they've got a deflection. Then so another run.
Well, that's a handy run. It's a real bone.
Full toss in the air, got him. Oh, he's dropped it. I can't believe it. England's fielding has been atrocious. Their catching has been worse.
Well, it must be catch number 4 that's definitely gone down that I've noticed. Maybe even a little more than that. Full pitch delivery. Try to get up in the block hole. And a bit of a miscue there. Looks like Graeme Hick has put that one down. I think Graeme Hick, he hasn't been moving too freely. We suspect he's got a bit of a leg injury. I think there might be Dominic Cork, actually. Got to get bat on ball.
And that is well bowled. A slower delivery, held back by Goff. And that was very well bowled. So that's the end of the innings. And the New Zealanders, well, they'll be just a little bit disappointed that they didn't kick on to 260-odd. But having said that, I think at the start of the match, if you'd have said to New Zealand 240-odd, would you settle for that? I think they probably would have done.
Wanted to get out at the time that he did from New Zealand's point of view, but hit some wonderful shots and some good supporting roles there from Thompson and Jamon at the end. But 238 for 6, as it shows on the board. That makes New Zealand competitive. This game very much alive. England are going to have to bat pretty well to get them. It's a question now whether New Zealand are good enough in the field, certainly with their fielding and their bowling, their catching, whatever it may be, they've got to respond well. Dominic Cork, I thought, bowled outstandingly well. 1 for 35 from his 10. Peter Martin, a bit expensive. Darren Goff, very expensive. Richard Illingworth, probably the pick of all the bowlers today. And Graeme Hick bowled nicely for his 2 wickets for 45. Appears to have a leg injury. That could work to New Zealand's advantage. Craig White, 2, 5 overs, no wicket for 20.
He's bowled him. He's gone under Mike Atherton's bat and he's hit leg stump. So the perfect breakthrough for New Zealand. The Yorker, the perfect Yorker from Dion Nash. And Atherton stands out in the middle. Not sure what's going on here myself, Jeff, but it looked as if he was bowled to me, leg stump. Well, he has gone out. We've had the reason why he is staying out there. Of course, he's going to have to run for Graeme Hick. We talked about that earlier in the over. But Michael Atherton is gone. Magnificent Yorker from Dion Nash, and England are 1 leg stump. That's a better shot. A brilliant piece of fielding at point. Gavin Larson, he's the oldest on the side, Jeff. That's not a bad standard from the old boy.
No, he's not.
Nearly through Alex Stewart, just jamming down into the pad. That's another tidy over from New Zealand. After 3, England 2 for 1. Before the resumption of play, we went through a full fielding drill, a full warm-up. It's a beautiful shot from Hick. Eased it through the covers, and that'll run away. Will it for the first boundary of the innings? Yes, it does.
Well, it's a good shot, but I still think he's right, Danny Morrison, to pitch the ball up. He obviously won't want to get driven for 4s, but he's got to pitching it up.
And nice and full again from Nash, and some good aggression there to end the 6th over.
Got quite a tidy, relaxed action, Cairns.
Yes.
That's a good shot. Magnificently played by Hick. That's the one he loves. Just short outside off stump, and he's smashed it away.
Just gave Graeme Hick too much room there. And Graeme Hick just had enough time to really play it from the crease. Just a bit short of the length, a bit wide, and certainly nicely played. But Chris Cairns tends to use a change of pace a lot. He came out here.
Well, he's got that away very well. That was short, and he's hit it for 4. Well, Hick is beginning to turn it on. He plays that pull shot and the cut shot very well. That was a little bit short, and he really did dispatch it well. Right off the meat of the bat for 4 down to square leg.
Yes, that looked to be the slower ball again from Chris Cairns.
Got that one into the gap on the offside as well, and that'll go for 4. This is not a very good over from Cairns. Perhaps getting just a little bit too aggressive, and he's dragged a couple down, and Hick has punished him.
I think this is more a reflection of the fact that Chris Cairns just hasn't had enough bowling over the last 2 or 3 weeks, really, and just hasn't quite got his line and length right. It just might take him a couple of games to settle down, but it could prove very costly for New Zealand. And it might mean that Lee Jaman will make 1 or 2 changes. He has a lot of bowling options out there.
Well bowled that time. That was a bit lucky, and this could be close. Well, he tried to throw it over the top of the stumps. The runner was wide, and it just looked to me for a second there that Atherton wasn't sure whether to go. It's 48 for 1.
Loss there of Atherton. And here we see almost a mix-up here and a run-out. Had it been a direct hit or a better throw, Atherton might well have been struggling. Of course, Michael Atherton, the England captain, running for the injured Graeme Hick. 5 and picked up a couple of wickets, and with Illing was 10 overs, 1 for 31. Very impressive performance. That Harris and Thompson will be looking for similar performances.
Well, that cover fieldsman way back there, not coming in to save the one. You've got to save those. Quite warm out there. Fleming, the fieldsman there, and brings up to 50, so just a little bit of a cheer. In fact, it wasn't Fleming, that was Harris at cover.
Well, Chris Harris normally is an outstanding fielder. Tends to hit the stumps a lot with direct hits.
Always a stutter in that one again. And a shy down the non-striker's end. That could well have been out. We'll come back and have a look at that in a moment. It's 50.
Well, I suppose from some teams' point of view, that wouldn't be a bad draw.
There's a little bit of a mix-up again, and a direct hit. Well, he's asking for the replay. I think, judging by Stewart's reaction, he reckons he was home. And so my inclination is to say that that was probably correct. But let's have a look at the replay.
Well, you're talking about direct hits. And we'll look at that man there. Looks to be Gavin Larson. And is he or isn't he? That looks to be safe, I think, Tony. Have I got that one right?
Yes, just let's see, he's going back a bit there. Yes, I think, let's see now, there we go. I think he's on the line. Yes, I think he's just home. It would be very difficult to give that one. I think that he got just, mind you, the way Stewart reacted very casually, it just seemed to me that he was dead certain he was in. He wasn't in by long, that's for sure. There you are. You can see the ball just about hit the stumps on the line, and, well, I think you've got to call him in.
New Zealand fielding has been very good. The throwing not always accurate.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Larson dropping short and swung away beautifully by Hick for another boundary.
Graeme Hick will always go on to something that's pitched short. He's a very confident player, particularly in one-day cricket against a short pitch ball. Fielders patrolling the boundary yet.
Goes again, and another boundary. A bit closer to the fieldsman this time, but the same result.
I think Lee Jaman is going to have to make some changes to his field here and give Gavin Larson some cover.
Straight, Harry, straight.
Just away from the player and down to the fence for 4 runs. Struck it beautifully. A good attempt by the man at Wideman off Astle. And 4 runs. 71 for 1. We tried to dab that away. And they've crossed for a single. Let's just see what the umpire has to say. Yes, it will bye. So Jamon missed it. The batsman missed it, then Jamon missed it. Turns it away nicely, and if they can get through, which they will, that'll be 50 for Graeme Hick.
Terrific effort by England's number 3. Hampered by that injury to his hamstring. He's come in and really taken control from the outset. Early setback for England. the early loss of Captain Atherton.
Over the top goes Hick. His fieldsman coming round, but no chance. Beautifully struck. And the 4 runs.
The key to this fabulous off drive is the width that the off spinner has bowled. If you see that, well outside off stump, it gives...
You'll never get him out.
Runs, concede runs over the top. And just to be conservative. And concede a procession of singles. And that single brings up the England 100, the 24th over. Chris Harris, 16 wickets back in 1992, at an average of 21.37. And has he got another one here? A caught and bowled? Yes, he has. The New Zealanders celebrate. Alex Stewart stands there. Another deliberation between the 2 umpires. They come together. The question here, has it carried back to the bowler? Harris is confident. And Stewart stands his ground.
Well, I thought he looked out to me. That's the impression I got. Yeah, he's given him out. The man at square leg or stood at point, the umpire said yes, it carried. I think that was right. Nothing wrong with standing, but he just played through it. And I said before, a lot of the balls just don't quite come onto you. And it needed a wicket like that where the batsman gets himself out to get New Zealand back into the game. Very good innings by Alex Stewart of 34, England 100 for 2.
Graeme Thorpe, the new batsman for England. He's gone down to the non-strikers end. That was
Right over, Tom.
Miss to the feet by Thorpe. Balloons away on the offside. Off the pad. 30 overs gone. 122 for 2.
A bit of pressure onto new batsmen.
He's bowled him. He's gone straight through Gavin Larson. We said he'd bowl straight. And he's gone through Graeme Thorpe, and the breakthrough New Zealand dearly wanted.
Well, I don't think it bounced too high, the ball, but I don't think he'd be too pleased with the shot either. He looked to be walking into it and working it through mid-wicket. The ball pitching on and seaming away. There it is, hitting off stump. He's working all the way around it, just walking into it. A little bit of a struggle for Graeme Thorpe. That leaves England 123 for 3.
Batsman for England, 123 for 3, changing the commentary box. So Richard Hadley and Tony Gregg.
Dixie in, yes, they need 240 to win this match, 120.
He's bowling.
Down the wicket he goes, this is going to be out, it's coming around, will he get there? No, it won't. Well, I must say, when it went up, I thought, that's it. I think the fieldsman down there might have misread it a little bit. Astle came across. I think he thought it was going to come a little bit further.
Alert. It's been very good today.
That's a magnificent shot again from Graeme Hick. I mean, nonchalantly played away. Getting quite odd to pick that ball up out there. It's going off colour a little bit. And that was a lovely flick of the wrists. And it was 4 from the minute it hit the bat.
And that's one of the few times that Chris Harris has really drifted down the leg side and 1s and 2s. But Nathan Astle, very much a line-length, medium-pace bowler. Probably lacks a yard of pace, actually. And you can see with his economy rate there, just under 5 runs and over is quite expensive. And he hasn't played too many matches, really. 7 wickets.
Well, that's well fielded, and this caused a mix-up. This could be close. This will be out. He's got him. That's all over. The run out. Oh, give him out. Go on. I reckon that was out by miles. I can't understand why that requires a run out.
Well, let's have a good look at it here, Tony, because this result is so crucial to both sides, because it's going to be Graeme Hick that will be run out if Michael Atherton hasn't made his ground. And there's the return. Is he short? He looks to be well short, Tony. I think your call is absolutely right. That's a good one for New Zealand.
Yes, he's out by about a metre there, a long way back. What a dreadful mix-up. So, Hick has to make his way back to the pavilion with Atherton. That is the end of that. Very, very disappointing from England's point of view. 85 of 101 balls outrun out in England, 144 for 4.
New Zealand just did lose their way a little bit in the last 10 overs. We've talked about New Zealand perhaps being 20 runs short of what they may well have got at one stage.
Welcome back, Bob.
Hi, Grant. Yes, Jack Russell's been in great form with the bat for England in both Test matches and one-day internationals recently. Their South African tour. He had a great deal of success. Very unorthodox player.
It's in the air. He should be out, and he is. Another big wicket for New Zealand as Gavin Larson strikes in his last over, and England lose their 5th.
England making life very difficult for themselves once again. The 5th wicket goes down. Jack Russell trying to hit the ball over the top. Unorthodox in method. This time it doesn't work. Too much bottom hand in the stroke. The ball goes high in the air. Simple catch. And England are now in trouble.
Danny Morrison took the catch for New Zealand. Jack Russell didn't last long today. Out for 2. It's 151 for 5. Craig White. And he comes in at the fall of the wicket of Jack Russell. There are the stats for Craig White. And he really comes in at a very vital stage, Bob.
That's right. Craig White, one of...
Up in the air. He might be lucky again. He is, as Jamon goes sprinting after it, and the batsmen have completed 2 runs. It didn't make it outside the circle, and they got 2.
It's one-day situations that when they come in, it's always a pressure situation.
England took 7 runs off the previous over, which was getting up to something what they need. There's Harris again. White goes after this. He's hit it beautifully. That's over the top. 6 runs. Tremendous shot from Craig White.
Beautiful clean hit from Craig White. He has opened the batting for England in one-day internationals. Yep. 2 men out on the leg side boundary. That's going to be the favourite area for White. There's another one out at long on. Just 2 men inside the circle. Only 5 men allowed on the leg side.
Goes after it. He's hit it very high. Cairns is waiting for it, and Cairns has it. White holds out, and England lose their 6th wicket.
All credit to Shane Thompson. He's created the pressure by tying Fairbrother down, and when White came on to strike, he had to have a go, and it very nearly carried for 6, but good bowling. Cairns about 8 metres in from the rope, and he makes no mistake. White's gone. England 180 for 6.
Oh, that's a handy shot. That's going for 4. Very difficult to protect that part of the ground, and Fairbrother takes 4.
Danny Morrison will have to be philosophical about that. That's what happens.
Hold him! Morrison strikes a big blow. Fairbrother's out. And further trouble for England.
The bowling change working for New Zealand. Lee Jamon calling on his most experienced bowler, Danny Morrison. And Morrison's done the trick. He's dismissed Fairbrother. He's dismissed him very emphatically. The off stump goes back. Fairbrother's on his way. England 185 for 7.
The man out there for England is Darren Gough at 185.
3 of 33. Well, he's had a go at that one. It's going down the ground. This is all the way. This is going to be a 6. Just what the doctor ordered. Way over the top of long on. Nicely struck down the ground.
Well, that's all it needs from England's point of view, is to the pitch of the ball, and right over long on. It's probably gone about 10 rows back. And if he can hit another couple of those, then that game, I say, England won that match.
Running around all over the crease, and that's through the field for 4. Beautiful strike. Wandering around the crease. decided that to go, and have a look at that. There's some determination in those eyes.
Yes, well, Dominic Cork has certainly pumped up here. Just gave himself a bit of room and just moved outside the leg stump and really hit the ball on the up.
So Cork, one strike again. Morrison to bowl to him. Oh, he's got an inside edge, and that'll go for 4 as well. Could Cork do it for England? That was a little lucky.
You're starting to get very excited too now, Tony, aren't you? Who are you supporting, by the way?
You name it. Well, that was lucky. There's no doubt about that. You can't do much more than bowl a Yorker, and that's the net result of it so far. 1-4-4 here. Oh, he's got him. Yes, he's nicked it. That's the end of that for the New Zealanders. And have a look at them. They are going berserk out there. A little faint nick, went screaming through to the captain, and no mistake was made.
Yes, well, it's well bowled by Dion Nash, and it's a good comeback too after being no balled. It was a marginal call as well, might I say. And he's come back and got a very valuable wicket here of Dominic Cork. Cork again looking to give himself a bit of room from the leg side to go through the offside, found the outside edge and leads him on. The captain, he's jubilant. Dion Nash, he's just as excited. So am I, Tony, to say the least. And New Zealand deserve to have England 210 for 8.
That's for sure. 6 and a 4. That's 10 and 2 hits. He's hit that in the air. It's going down the ground. It won't quite get there. It's got to be out. He's got him. Yes, he's hit it down the ground a bit off. That may just have carried the fence, but there was a fielder in the way. Such a fine line between being a hero and a villain.
Well, Chris Cairns certainly is the hero for New Zealand, and so is Dion Nash as Peter Martin goes, trying to hit the ball to the boundary. And that's what he had to do, really. He had to take the risk. Because 1s and 2s were not quite enough for England. They had to get the odd boundary. Struck it quite well. Cairns did well, moved nicely to his left there and takes a well-judged catch. So that makes England 9 wickets down for 222.
Away it goes from Illingworth, and he gets 1 run. And that means there are 2 balls left, 13 runs, unless Danny Morrison bowls a wider or no ball. Things looking pretty comfortable now for New Zealand. There too from Chris Cairns. Last ball of the match. Illingworth has a big heave, and it goes through to the keeper, and New Zealand have won the opening match of the World Cup for 1996. Excellent performance by the New Zealanders, who scored 239 for 6. England came up short and finished at 228 for the loss of 9. Jubilation amongst the New Zealanders, and they've started the World Cup from their point of view in the right manner.
Well, New Zealand have done it in some style today. Nathan Astle, I'm sure he'll be named man of the match with his century. A wonderful performance from him. Very good supporting roles from Chris Cairns. The New Zealand bowling, I think, generally was of a very, very good standard. England, I think, will have a lot of work to do to resurrect their form in this particular competition.